Hey guys, Sean Pruitt, president of Kingdom Exploration. Exciting times in the oil business. I've never seen anything like this, and I just can't believe when I'm reading in the news. They have absolutely no idea what they're talking about. I'll explain further. Let's watch this video clip.
Let's begin this hour with a dire warning from Saudi Arabia's crown prince. In a televised interview, Mohammed bin Salman describes a dark prediction should an all-out war break out with Iran. But in that same interview, he talks about how he prefers a peaceful resolution with the Islamic Republic. RT correspondent Saya Tavenger has the details.
The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia sent a dire warning to the world, saying crude oil prices will spike to unimaginably high numbers in case of an armed conflict with Iran. Mohammed bin Salman made those comments during an interview with CBS.
The region represents about 30% of the world's energy supplies, about 20% of global trade passages, about 4% of the world GDP. Imagine all these three things stop. This means a total collapse of the global economy, and not just Saudi Arabia or the Middle East countries.
Now, after the September 14 drone attacks on two Aramco...
What he's saying, what MBS is saying is he's reminded Trump in those private meetings he's had, it's like, hey, if our economy is destroyed, the global economy is going to be going with it. He's trying to get Donald Trump to send his military over to help him fight. But Donald Trump is interested in selling him weapons and letting him protect himself. Okay. But there's something you have to understand. Saudi Arabia is going broke. They need minimum $80 oil in order to even break even this year. According to many stock experts in the industry, they estimated his pre-IPO stock to be worth upwards of $2 trillion. Aramco stock. He can't even raise $100 billion on that thing. And that's not a lot of money. His country's falling apart. He's losing money. They don't save money. They spend money. And they're having a hard time raising capital for their IPO because they need minimum $80 a barrel in order for them to break even. Who's going to invest in something like that? And so they're going broke. And Trump wants to sell them military weapons so they could protect themselves versus us getting stuck in the mud, spending trillions of dollars. Anyways.
Largest facilities, it forced Saudi Arabia to temporarily shut down roughly 50% of its output, or more than 5% of the world's daily crude production. Now, the following week, Brent crude rose as much as 20% to almost $72 per barrel. Now, that might not seem as high at the moment, especially since we were about $130 per barrel in April of 2011, but that's still the biggest jump on record. And this is why energy experts are currently citing figures between $100 and $150 per barrel for the price of oil if Saudi Arabia and Iran, who are OPEC's highest and third highest oil producers, went to war. Now, currently, the price of crude oil sits at about $55 per barrel.
Now, the reason why we're at $55 a barrel, bottom line, we're producing too much oil. And it's because of the U.S. It's because of Shell. Okay. But I can't get through it. So many people are under the impression that Shell is just going to keep coming. It's never going to end. Shell it is not long term. Shell decline curve is massive, and it's only getting worse with each well that they're drilling. And if we look at the seekingalpha.com, okay, a bullish storm is brewing beyond the headlines. If we look here, combined with the expected increase in exports, a forecast drop in net imports from September to October in excess of 1 million barrels per day. And unless domestic production increases to offset this forecast drop, total oil storage will sharply drop in October and likely through the rest of the year. Look, everyone's looking to America to fill the oil. That's why oil prices aren't skyrocketing to 2008 levels when they're $160 a barrel. because everyone thinks we're going to fill the order, but we can't. Shale is not going to fix the problem. And if you look here, the shale rig count in the last 10 months, the U.S. oil rig count declined by approximately 180 rigs, and the pace of decline has accelerated in the most recent 4 weeks. Look, the reason why rigs are being taken off the market because they're not making money. Shale companies, U.S. shale companies cannot make money at $50-something a barrel. They can't afford it. And see, the problem is the news, they don't know how to prosper in oil and gas. They don't have the 25 years experience I have in oil and gas. They don't know what it means for oil prices to be as low as they have been for as long as they have. And so bottom line, unless we have peace in the Middle East, which is not happening, we're going to see another bomb on a key oil facility. It's going to increase prices, of course, but in time, shale cannot fix the problem. Where we have to, in order to maintain the daily output, a conventional oil well that we've been drilling since the 80s, it's like this over a 20-year period. Shale is like this in 1 year. It's like that. It's a massive decline curve. And so the only reason why shale has been able to maintain these high outputs, okay, we were producing like 5 million barrels a day, and now we're producing like 16 million, all because of shale. It's like an extra 10 million a day. And the reason why we're able to produce 10 million barrels a day of shale is because we keep drilling oil wells in order to maintain that output number. Okay. But what happens when the rigs drop, when we stop drilling, when there's no money to drill? You're going to see a massive decline curve much quicker than you would in conventional oil plays. So we cannot save the world. Only Saudi Arabia has the ability to output the numbers that we need, because there you have conventional oil plays. So I'm going to continue this.
If the world does not take a strong and firm action to deter Iran, we will see further escalations that will threaten world interests. Oil supplies will be disrupted, and oil prices will jump to unimaginably high numbers that we haven't seen in our lifetimes. The political and peaceful solution is much better than the military one.
Salman also said President Trump should meet with Iranian President Hassan Rouhani to craft a new deal on Tehran's nuclear program and discuss Iran's influence across the Middle East. Now,
sure, Saudi Arabia, MBS is saying, yeah, Donald Trump's going to go have a nice chat with Iran. How's that work for you? I mean, we know for a fact that Iran and Donald Trump is not going to probably not even meet. Trump just keeps turning up the heat. And so when Trump turns up the heat on Iran, it causes Iran to attack Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is asking Trump for help. Trump wants to sell military weapons. Saudi Arabia is out of money. Round and round we go, guys. Not only that, Trump has an election to win. Okay? Let's continue.
Ongoing war in Yemen, where Houthi rebels claim they have killed or wounded 500 Saudi forces while capturing another 2,000. Now, of course, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is pushing back on these claims. But if they are true, it would be one of the most significant assaults for the rebels in the 5-year war. And now new video claims to show Yemen releasing prisoners in what could be the start of a much larger prisoner swap. Well, we got to get up to date on the Yemen war and how the United States is connected. We turn to former Pentagon official Michael Maloof. Simple answer. Is the United States connected?
The United States is connected only where Iran can be clearly shown as being a problem. Plus, we continue to provide the arms and what have you to Saudi Arabia, but they're totally ineffective against the type of tactics that are being used on the battlefield today and by the Houthis. They clearly have shown and demonstrated a capability that they were not anticipated to have.
Well, that's what I want to talk about. What is the size and capability of the Houthi rebel army operating in Yemen right now at the time?
Well, right now they're being able to show that they can project power within the Saudi kingdom, and the kingdom itself, the Saudi kingdom, cannot stop it. And now that is significant, even notwithstanding all the arms and all the capabilities of the soldiers supposedly with training. It shows that they're incapable. Accounts of these prisoners being taken, the prisoners themselves are very upset with their own leadership because they haven't been repatriated in any way, they haven't been rescued, nothing has happened. And there's quite a sizable number that were captured, and it showed a pincer movement. And the only way you can get that is by having, and the pincer movement took place inside the kingdom.
Right.
Which means the Houthis got help from within the kingdom by people who are opposed to the regime.
And that's the question that you're looking at right now, because I remember a few weeks ago, the United States was possibly even gearing up for some sort of escalation of a war with Iran over oil fields. The Saudis asked us for help. In this case, they're getting their army captured, possibly even killed. And we're not hearing anything. In fact, you're not even hearing about it anywhere. Why is that? Why are we not hearing the stories? I mean, we heard all about the oil fields.
But I think the U.S. is stunned by the capability of the Houthis.
They didn't know that the Houthis were this power. They had this much power behind them.
They've never projected this kind of capability before until
the lady mentioned the fact that how come no one's reporting this? How come nobody is sharing what these guys are talking about? It's because nobody knows what's really going on. I mean, we spend $700 billion a year on our military. Apple, the richest company in the world, is worth $1 trillion. We spend more money than Apple profits on our military. We're the most powerful military in the world, okay? And we have to use our sophisticated technology to really know what's going on. But they're saying we didn't expect the Houthis to have this much power. So it makes you ask, okay, so they're getting help from within Saudi Arabia. That's interesting. But where is Iran getting all this power from? Is it coming from China? Is it coming from Russia? Is it coming from Saudi Arabia? Here's what I've been saying all along. What I've been saying all along is that I wouldn't be surprised if Saudi Arabia cooperated with Russia and Iran to create a situation to cause oil prices to go up. I've been saying this all along, and all of a sudden a bomb was dropped. Just 2 days before I said, hey, a bomb's going to drop in Saudi Arabia. Wouldn't be surprised. 2 days later, there's a bomb drop. The reason why I know is because they are so predictable. The Yom Kippur War, they stopped exporting oil to us. What did that do? It tripled oil prices. So Saudi Arabia's like, wait a minute. We sold less oil and made much more money. Interesting. So what do? They started manipulating oil prices by curbing production, backing off on production. Okay. And so that's actually wrong for them to do that, because it's causing the American economy, GDP, and every other GDP around the world to drop, because they're having to spend more money on oil and less money on Walmart and gas. And so because higher gas prices. And so the Houthi is much stronger than we realized. Nobody expected for them to bring military weapons to Yemen and have help from within and bomb a key oil field in Saudi Arabia. America wasn't expecting it. Saudi Arabia wasn't expecting it. But I would not be surprised if there's a lot more involved here than just Iran alone.
Now.
We have intelligence, though. We should be able to tell a little bit better. But we're sure that the Iranians were the ones that attacked the Saudi airfields with drones.
Well, what the Houthis were able to demonstrate were two things. Number one, they were able to show they had a coordination of their their drones, their electronic warfare, and the ability to strike accurately on the oil fields with help from people from within who could help target. Then, right after that, a Houthi spokesman said, stay tuned, because next week we're going to be taking over large tracts of territory within the kingdom. Bingo, it happened. They warned us.
So they warned, and they warned us. Well, they warned the Saudis. And that being said,
they warned us it was going to happen. And guess what? They're continuously saying, hey, we're going to continue to bomb Saudi Arabia. But, the rest of the media, what are they saying? The rest of the media are talking about what Adam Schiff said or what some random, Joe Biden. Who cares about what Bernie has to say? I could care less. I mean, back when Bush was in office, there wasn't enough garbage on the news, enough interesting things where this kind of news would have been taken up, morning news, nighttime news, every bit of news. But people are more interested in stupid LGBTQPAPCT groups and whatever. I mean, it's ridiculous what's happening in our country. But anyways, this is real news. Saudi Arabia's fallen apart. Trump hasn't sent any military in yet. I mean, they sent a few troops. I personally don't think Trump's going to do anything. He has an election to win. I don't blame him. And at the same time, he doesn't want to spend $1 trillion and get stuck in the mud and start an endless war in Saudi Arabia. We're tired of being the world's police. We're spending too much money, and this is an opportunity to sell some military equipment and strengthen Saudi Arabia to start fighting their own wars. But anyways, very exciting times. A lot of people are saying oil prices are going to go back up to $100, $120, $150 oil. But even at $50-something a barrel, we can still make money in conventional oil places. I mean, that's what we were doing back in the 90s, back in early 2000. So anyways, I'm Sean Pruitt, and if you have any questions, feel free to call me anytime. Office number is 307-622-1645, 307-622-1-OIL. Thanks.